A high school feud reportedly turns deadly. First tonight on Our News, live at 7. Police questioned 3 teen gang members in a double homicide case over the weekend. One of the victims, a 15-year-old, shot inside a home. Also tonight, death by suicide. Police rule a young father's untimely demise last month as self-inflicted. Plus, a power outage plunges North Eleuthera into darkness for Mother's Day. Residents demand action. Then at Our News at 7:30, we'll tell you the Chinese bank expected to fund the New Providence Hospital project, how the new deal has sparked a debate over government intentions. Our News live at 7 starts right now.
Loftus Roker is described as a passionate and dedicated.
Welcome to Our News, live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. We've got breaking news tonight as Our News has learned that Loftus Roker has died. He was 88. Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrell Ramming, confirming the news this afternoon. The former cabinet minister, an Auckland's native, was among the 14 men who made history when they signed the nation's independence constitutional order in December 1971. Mr. Roker began his political journey at the age of 20, rising to prominence as a key figure in the Progressive Liberal Party. He held numerous cabinet positions after first winning a seat in Parliament in the 1968 elections. Just last August, in recognition of his contributions to nation building, the Auckland Central High School was renamed in his honor. I want to take a look back at this report from our Talia Hall, who was there for the ceremony.
Loftus Roker is described as a passionate and dedicated public servant who advocated for many across the country. The retired lawyer, politician, and Auckland's native is a former student of the now Loftus Roker High School. Roker sharing what this honor means to him.
That's the greatest thing that they could have done for me. I'm happy for that. That's the only thing that they offered me that I wanted.
Prime Minister Philip Davis says Roker played a critical role in one of the most important moments in the country's history.
In December of 1972, as one of only 15 in the national delegation, led by the then Prime Minister Pindling, he traveled to London to negotiate the terms of our country's independence. He did this because, in his own words, he believed in freedom. Only 4 of the signatories to our independence agreement are still with us today. And so we are grateful that we can still turn to Loftus for reminiscence, for his first-hand accounts of critical moments in Bahamian history, for guidance, and of course, for his very candid views.
Education Minister Gladys Hannah Martin says it was most fitting to rename the school after Roker.
And an action in which we are well pleased. May all who pass through this school in the years to come understand the beautiful legacy of this institution and its meaning to their own lives, and the stimulus to their incredible potential and the grand possibilities that await them. May they always remember the man whose name this school bears.
Awards were also presented to the honoree. A plaque and school sign was also unveiled. Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Natalia Hall.
All right, that report shedding some light on the life of Loftus Roker. Now, this news of his death, obviously still fresh. We're following this. We'll have more from family and supporters who will send in their condolences. We are certain over the next few days, and certainly for us, we send our condolences to the entire Roker family. A high school feud. The motive behind 2 teens being gunned down over the weekend. Now police say 3 teen gang members are being questioned for the killings. Chief Superintendent Kristen Skippings gave an update on the cases at a press conference this afternoon. Marlena Leonard was there.
One of the suspects, one of the 3 males, had an ongoing feud with the 4 males who were on the basketball court. That ongoing feud commenced from high school, and we saw it spill over into the community.
The first incident occurred late Friday night when an 18-year-old was shot and killed on a basketball court on Quintine Alley.
4 males, 2 adults, and 2 juveniles were on the basketball court when they were approached by 3 males, all of whom were teenagers. They wore hooded jackets. A confrontation occurred. The 4 males, the 2 adults, and the 2 juveniles walked off. They were pursued.
The police have since arrested 2 15- and 16-year-old boys who are members of a local gang. As for the second teen who was gunned down in his home off Wolf Road, Skippings telling reporters he was shot by a friend of the murdered 18-year-old.
An associate of the deceased went to Thresher Lane, where he decided, or I should say where the second incident occurred, and we had the 15-year-old being shot while he was inside the home.
An 18-year-old is being questioned for that incident. With the late-night slayings, some are asking why the teens were hanging out late at night. Skippings had this advice for parents.
Parents, it's time for you to start parenting your children properly. And I can assure you, we're going to look and find areas within the statutes where we can also place you before the courts, because you have to be accountable for your children's actions.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
And police have ruled the death of a young father who was found dead in Western New Providence a suicide. On April 29th, Evan Fox, his partially decomposed body, was discovered outside a truck near bushes off Frank Watson Boulevard. Police say they used a drone to find the 33-year-old's Dodge Ram truck. He was found days after his family reported him missing. Today, Chief Superintendent Skippings, who we just heard from there, she also gave an update on the case during a press conference this afternoon.
The pathologist concluded her postmortem in that, and it was determined that it was self-inflicted.
A man sentenced to 7 years in prison for having 5 guns, which he intended to supply. Magistrate Samuel McKinney handed down the sentence to Arizona Roll following a trial. Police arrested Roll following a high-speed chase on December 2nd, 2022. Officers on mobile patrol on John F. Kennedy Drive say they pursued a heavily tinted gray Cadillac that was being driven recklessly. The chase ended at Atlantic Drive. While searching the car, the officers say they found 5 unlicensed handguns and 2.4 pounds of marijuana. Now, Roll was given the option of paying a fine of $7,500 bail to avoid spending 6 months in prison on the drug charge. The sentence is expected to run concurrently. And Abaco's volunteer firefighter team is getting some much-needed support as they continue to battle a massive wildfire there that's said to be threatening Abaconian communities. The Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction now saying preparations are being made to send a group of officers from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Police Force to Abaco. Much-needed equipment is also being deployed to the island. In the meantime, the ministry advising residents to avoid exposure to smoke and ash when possible, wear N95 masks if outdoors, and create buffer zones around their property by clearing bush and flammable materials to help stop the spread of the fire. All right, we're certainly still following that, but we've got a whole lot more to get to tonight. But for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Candino, and happy Monday evening, everybody. We are watching fires, and those fires are going to continue to plague us as we are in a dry mode, and we have a dry season on us. No rainfall really in the rain gauge expected over the next couple of days, except Tuesday. A front should brush the northern Bahamas. We should in the short while, but it is hot. We are still keeping warnings out for residents, asking you to prepare for that. Mostly clear skies. The winds out of the northeast. We have a slight breeze at 13 miles per hour. But it feels like temperature is in the mid-80s. Temperatures around the islands right now across the northwest Bahamas. It's 79 in Freeport, Marshall, Abaco, and in Governor's Harbour as well. 83 Allenstown, Bimini, Nicholstown, Andros, the Big Yard. You guys are 82, and I know you have a couple of small fires there still. 81 in Great Harbour Key, Central Bahamas. 82 Kemps Bay. 81's Georgetown and Deadman's Key, Long Island. 79 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Tobin Townsend, Salvador. You guys are 80. And into the southeast Bahamas, more 80s popping up there with 81 in Duncantown, Ragged Island, a string of 80s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and in Abrams Bay. Providenciales, Turks and Caicos Islands, you guys at 82, Matthew Town, Inagua, round out a temperature profile at 84. Ridge of high pressure is in charge. Dry air mass still in place, and that is keeping us under that fire threat. So we are asking you to exercise extreme caution out there. And of course, the heat. We have heat indices in the triple digits, and of course, ultraviolet radiation still out there. Ridge of high pressure will keep all these weather systems. We really need this rain, but that rain is not going to get you anytime soon. Front is expected getting you sometime by Wednesday, Thursday night, and we could see a couple isolated showers with that. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on our news, North Eleuthera plunged into darkness as a power outage on Mother's Day sparks anger and frustration. The area MP demanding action for reliable services. And union uproar. The BPSU demands answers as over 300 members await promised salary increases. The president calls out ministers' recent admission of challenges. Plus, Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority leads the charge in women's health advocacy. When our news returns.
The season of Goombay Kids is coming soon. The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures, meeting mythical characters, pirates, and mermaids as they explore their beautiful island nation. The Goombay Kids learn all about nutrition, marine life, the environment, cultures from around the world, and more, all with the help of the Goombay Kid experts, who are never more than a Goombay gadget away. Get ready to have a Goombay adventure.
Look who we caught here on the Charlie Bahama Show, Andrew Zimmerman. But listen, this is like your second home.
It is my second home. I'm 75% Bahamian.
Oh yeah, 75%. And this show is 100% Bahamian. Tell me about your path to becoming a chef. And while you do that, hold this so I could eat.
Growing up in a house with my mom.
I love fire engine. If you had a fire engine, you've never been to Bahamas.
So catch Charlie Bahama's new episodes on our TV, Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
If you thought Season 1 was amazing, then be prepared for Season 2. More amazing artists, more amazing videos, and surprises you won't believe. Will Stocks be the first rapper to ever hit #1? Or will Kenya continue her dominant reign? Or will someone new come and shut it all down? Stay tuned for Season 2 of 242 The Gospel.
So you said you're here for Sally's funeral? How do you know Sally?
He was my rock and my anchor.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He most certainly was not.
Residents in North Eleuthera left in the dark for Mother's Day when the power went out suddenly on Sunday. And we are told that since then, the power remained off for over 24 hours. A Bahamas Power and Light press release says an engineer flew in from New Providence yesterday evening, but the extent of the damage and lack of resources on the island have caused delays. Member of Parliament for North Eleuthera, Sylvanus Petty, says enough is enough and that North Eleuthera needs reliable essential services.
Enough is enough. I've had enough. The people of North Eleuthera has had enough. We cannot continue to kick this can down the road. We have to put things in place to make sure that the people of North Eleuthera live a comfortable life, just like how the people of Nassau can go without their power being interrupted for weeks and months. We are Bahamians. We pay our taxes. For the amount of money that North Eleuthera puts into the government purse, I think that the Minister of Energy, the Prime Minister, I beg you, please, the people of North Eleuthera needs relief. Enough is enough.
Petty says he was taken aback by the strong response to the water being off in areas of New Providence last week, saying he urged members of government to recognize that the issue is a daily occurrence for the community of North Eleuthera. As for the ongoing upgrades to water storage tanks in North Eleuthera, Petty had this to say.
We have just completed a 1 million gallon tank in the Lower Borg area, and that will bring great relief, much relief to the people of North Eleuthera, in particular Harbour Island. We have just started a new storage tank in Harbor Island, and that's going to be, I think, about 750,000 gallons, being done by Knowles Construction. That's on the way. Hopefully in the next three months, that should be completed.
All right, and we just spoke with the MP for that area who says that the power actually remains off. BPL is expected to release a statement at 8 p.m. The Bahamas Public Services Union up in arms tonight as the president claims over 300 members have yet to receive salary increases negotiated in an industrial agreement signed last year. BPSU President Kingsley Ferguson says a year ago they were informed the increase was before the Public Service Commission. He claims Public Service and Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll admitted there were some challenges.
She indicated that she would have sought to get approval to pay from public services budget. Again, on Friday, I asked about it. Her issue and concern was the same, that she hasn't received a response from the financial secretary.
Ferguson calling on Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Philip Davis to intervene as he feels the financial secretary isn't doing enough. The issue impacts support staff like janitors, messengers, and security officers. Ferguson says he believes the matter is affecting morale.
It lends toward whether or not the persons at the upper echelon are more of a concern for the government of the Bahamas as opposed to those persons who are endeavoring to survive and keep their heads above water.
We reached out to Public Service and Labor Minister Pia Glover-Roll, who says there is a technicality that needs to be worked out. She says she's also advised the BPSU to reach out to the financial secretary as it is a financial matter. Well, in the spotlight for Women's Health Awareness Month, members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated convened in a recent mock parliament, delving into crucial topics under the theme Inspire Inclusion, Driving New Change in Women's Health. A standout focus, advocating for greater diversity in healthcare leadership roles. Ramona Wells is an AKA member.
See, this is not merely a matter of gender equality, but it's a deliberate call for advancement of our nation and the well-being of our people. Indeed, the contributions of women in STEM are indispensable to driving progress and addressing the complex challenges facing healthcare today. But despite the remarkable strides made by Bahamian women in our STEM and healthcare areas, they continue to face systematic barriers, hindering their full participation and advancement. See, according to the statistics of the Bahamas Department of Statistics, women of our population represent 35% of those graduating from STEM careers in the recent years.
And during their deliberations, AKAs also pushed for expanded mental health coverage within national health programs. AKA Angelique McKay backed the sorority's advocacy with statistics.
Statistical research has shown us that 72% of the public hospital authority population is female. 50% of the board of executive managers and senior executives are women. Being armed with this information, we intend to approach this body as an advocate as we traverse this road to have mental health services included on our list of offerings by National Health Insurance.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the lawyer of former U.S. President Donald Trump testifies that he lied and bullied on Trump's behalf. Plus, the strongest condemnation yet from the United States on Israel's war tactics in Gaza. And UNICEF reports nearly 1.6 million Haitians now facing food insecurity as the gang violence continues. The story when our news returns.
A whole new season of Goombay Kids is coming soon. The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures, meeting mythical characters, pirates, and mermaids as they explore their beautiful island nation. The Goombay Kids learn all about nutrition, marine life, the environment, cultures from around the world, and more, all with the help of the Goombay Kid experts, who are never more than a Goombay gadget away. Get ready to have a Goombay adventure!
Look who we caught here on the Charlie Bahama show, Andrew Zimmerman. But listen, this is like your second home.
It is my second home. I'm 75% Bahamian.
Oh, yeah, 75%. And this show is 100% Bahamian. Tell me about your path to becoming a chef. And while you do that, hold this so I could eat.
Growing up in a house with my mom.
I love fire engine. If you had a fire engine, you've never been to Bahamas.
So catch Charlie Bahama's new episodes on our TV, Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
If you thought season 1 was amazing, then be prepared for season 2. More amazing artists, more amazing videos, and surprises you won't believe. Will Stax be the first rapper to ever hit #1? Or will Kenya continue her dominant reign? Or will someone new come and shut it all down? Stay tuned for season 2 of 242 The Gospel.
So you said you're here for Sally's funeral? How do you know Sally?
He was my rock and my anchor.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He most certainly was not.
Watch what you say about Sully. Who is this child?
Your sisters. I'm asking you to do a few things for me. Once they are done, you will both receive your inheritance. The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
Don't take this the wrong way. It isn't really much of a hotel.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. In a New York court today, former lawyer to Donald Trump, Michael Cohen, testified in the ex-president's hush money trial, alleging Trump told him to prepare for revelations from multiple women during the campaign. Cohen paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 to stay silent about an alleged encounter with Trump before the 2016 general election. Trump is accused of concealing these payments through fraudulent records. Despite once being allies, Cohen and Trump, now adversaries, clashing on social media. Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 fraud charges and denies any encounter with Daniels. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Sunday criticized Israeli war tactics, which he says has meant a horrible loss of life of innocent civilians while failing to neutralize Hamas leaders and fighters. In a pair of TV interviews on Sunday, Blinken said the United States believes Israeli forces should get out of Gaza, but also is waiting to see credible plans from Israel for security and governance in the territory after the war. He said the United States has worked with Arab countries and others for weeks to develop a security, governance, and rebuilding plan in Gaza, but hasn't seen the same from Israel. During her 3-day trip to Nigeria, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, paid tribute to Princess Diana by wearing her diamond cross necklace. Prince Harry gifted the necklace to Meghan along with other treasured pieces of Diana's jewelry. Meghan has also honored Diana by wearing similar pieces previously on this tour. The warm reception Meghan received in Nigeria included praises for her qualities and heritage. And as families flee gang violence in Haiti, UNICEF reports that nearly 1.6 million people face acute food insecurity, heightening risks of malnutrition among children. A 19% surge in severe acute malnutrition cases among children is projected for 2024. UNICEF also reports Port-au-Prince hospitals are overwhelmed amid the security crisis, with 6 out of 10 out of service and others facing shortages of medicines and fuel. This is children, as we said, they face heightened risks of disease and malnutrition. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was May 13th. Then in our news at 7:30, a woman allegedly attempts suicide at Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge with a toddler in tow. How a passerby intervened to prevent a tragedy. This as police await a pathologist's report on a young Grand Bahamian woman whose alleged death by suicide has raised questions. Police tell us the investigation is still ongoing. We've got the latest when our news returns.
A whole new season of Goombay Kids is coming soon. The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures, meeting mythical characters, pirates, and mermaids as they explore their beautiful island nation. The Goombay kids learn all about nutrition, marine life, the environment, cultures from around the world, and more, all with the help of the Goombay Kid experts, who are never more than a Goombay gadget away. Get ready to have a Goombay adventure.
Look who we caught here on the Charlie Bahama show, Andrew Zimmerman. But listen, this is like your second home.
It is my second home. I'm 75% Bahamian.
Oh yeah, 75%. And this show is 100% Bahamian. Tell me about your path to becoming a chef. And while you do that, hold this so I could eat.
Growing up in a house with my mom.
I love fire engine. If you had a fire engine, you've never been to Bahamas.
So catch Charlie Bahama's new episodes on our TV, Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
If you thought season 1 was amazing, then be prepared for season 2. More amazing artists, more amazing videos, and surprises you won't believe. Will Stocks be the first rapper to ever hit #1? Or will Kenya continue her dominant reign? Or will someone new come and shut it all down? Stay tuned for season 2 of 242 The Gospel.
So you said you're here for Sally's funeral? How do you know Sally?
He was my rock and my anchor.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He most certainly was not.
Watch what you say about Sully. Who is this child?
Your sisters. I'm asking you to do a few things for me. Once they are done, you will both receive your inheritance. The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell?
Is this what the hotel is really worth?
Don't take this the wrong way. It isn't really much of a hotel.
242 The Gospel, where we celebrate our Bahamian artists. You've been asking for more, and we're here to deliver. Welcome to the second season of 242 The Gospel.
Welcome back to our news. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was May 13th. Take a look. On this day in Bahamian history in 1650, a ship departed Massachusetts with provisions for the struggling Eleutheran adventurers in the Bahamas, trading relief for Brazil would send back to support the expansion of Harvard College. In 1852, the parish of St. Anne's was created and the new St. Anne's Anglican Church was consecrated. May 13, 1927, Arrington Washington Isaac Bumpy Watkins Jr. was born in Lower Deadman's Key, Long Island. A policeman, politician, and activist, he advocated for various causes. He was elected to the House of Assembly in 1972, representing the constituency of Marsh Harbor, Abaco for the Free National Movement. Prior to independence, he led 2 movements for Abaco to stay a United Kingdom territory. In 1970, a vote of no confidence held against Prime Minister Lyndon Pinling. The motion was defeated, leading to the formation of the Free National Movement by dissenting members of the Progressive Liberal Party. And in 2016, F&M Senator Lanisha Roll resigned, citing personal reasons amidst controversy over alleged disparaging remarks about fellow MPs. She was replaced by Dr. Dwayne Sands. To watch that historical recap again, and for all of today's top stories, remember you can visit our news on Facebook. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Up now with your latest headlines is Atalia Hall. Atalia?
All right, thanks so much, Ken. Happy Monday. We're back here
Happy
again.
Monday,
It feels as if we were just saying TGIF, but
Sure,
hey.
and also happy Mother's Day again.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken.
Hope you had a wonderful day.
I rested. Thanks so much.
All right, good stuff.
All right, well, a woman allegedly attempts suicide with a toddler in tow. Plus, police await a pathologist report after a young Grand Bahamian woman's alleged death by suicide. Here are your latest headlines. First tonight on our news live at 7:30, police in the capital investigating an alleged attempted suicide. This as a woman holding a young baby attempts to jump over the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge. Plus, an update from police on that alleged suicide on Guanakee Abaco involving 27-year-old Grand Bahamian Destiny Hamilton. But first, the former Minister of Health calling the new hospital deal a ploy to appease residents. We have his full comments straight ahead. And later, an aircraft with 2 American passengers on board makes an emergency landing at the West End airstrip in Grand Bahama. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
NT Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, NT redefines what is possible. Not only are the Locaya solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. NT is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as NT Corporation shines brighter than ever. NT Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task, unplugging appliances not in use. That's energy conservation. Replacing an old refrigerator, washing machine with a new model, adding insulation to the attic and walls of a home. That's energy efficiency. People conserve to gain more.
Welcome to our news. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. The new hospital to be constructed in New Providence will be funded by the same Chinese bank that funded the multi-billion-dollar Bahama project. The news coming from the Health and Wellness Minister, who recently confirmed a 20-year loan in an interview with a local daily. Our Berthany McDermott is following this and tells us how a former health minister believes the deal is just a ploy to appease residents. Let's take a look.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville telling Tribune Business that China Export-Import Bank is expected to fund a $290 million loan to build a new 50-acre medical facility on New Providence. It's the same bank that financed the multi-billion-dollar Bahama resort, which after more than a decade in the making went bankrupt in 2015. Former Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands says he believes the deal makes no sense, claiming it will not benefit Bahamians.
This government has yet again decided to piss away millions of dollars of the Bahamian people's money, okay? So the same way that they have decided to cancel the central bank project and waste $12 million, they've now decided to waste more than $10 million for all of the plans done by Fred Popal and the Beck Group.
And while Dr. Sands doubts the deal's value for taxpayers, Dr. Darville telling the Tribune government will pursue the best outcome with a higher local labor force ratio. Meanwhile, Dr. Sands, who is also Free National Movement chairman, recalled tens of millions of dollars, he says, was spent on plans for a phased redevelopment of the Princess Margaret Hospital, questioning why those plans were abandoned.
We really have to ask, why is it that this administration has abandoned the Beck plan, which was agreed to by successive administrations, the Christie administration, the Ingram administration, the Minnis administration? Why have they decided to abandon that plan? I suspect that it is to benefit PLP supporters.
Dr. Sands says he believes this latest arrangement is just a ploy to appease Bahamians, foreshadowing a potential duplication of efforts among healthcare providers who may have to operate between two facilities.
When you have limited personnel, particularly at the RN level, critical care nurses, anesthesia and critical care, surgery, etc., the last thing that you want to do is to have a situation where somebody who could cover different areas in the same hospital now got to jump in their car, dash across to the maternity hospital, deal with a problem, then get back in their car in traffic and try to get back to the other place.
The Davis administration is eyeing a September groundbreaking for the new 50-acre facility, with the bank to fully fund its construction via a 20-year loan at an interest rate of 2%. Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks for that, Berthany. Well, police confirming this afternoon that a woman attempted to jump over the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge while holding a toddler. News of the alleged attempted suicide broke around 2 today. That's when the woman attempted to jump, but was reportedly stopped by a passerby. Police released few details on the case, but it is a story we will continue to follow. Well, the case is not closed in the death of a young Grand Bahamian woman in what police are calling a suicide. The incident happened on Abaco early Thursday. That's when police say 27-year-old Destiny Hamilton's body was found in a home with a wrist laceration, leading to speculation of suicide. A family member telling Our News they don't believe she took her own life. Social media also went into a frenzy after news of her unfortunate death, some describing details in the police report as sketchy. Police press liaison officer Chief Superintendent Kristen Skippings responding to the backlash, saying investigations are ongoing.
It's still a bit early. We're still going to wait on the pathologist to do some work. We're going to rely on that scientific evidence to assist us in our investigations. And based on what she gives us, then it will lead us in the direction that we ought to go as an organization.
Is that the most you can say on that, given that people don't feel as though it was a suicide? People, community members feel as though it was actually...
Well, you know, we don't investigate in social media, and so I'm going to allow the people, they can say what they want to say, but as a department, we rely on facts, and facts it will be. Once the pathologist conducts the postmortem and she gives us some information, it will lead us in the direction that we need to go as an organization.
A twin-engine aircraft with 2 American passengers on board making an emergency landing at the West End airstrip in Grand Bahama early this morning. In these pictures exclusively obtained by Our News, we can see work crews refueling a 1981 twin-engine beach craft, Baron 58, tail number November 208 Papa, with fuel. Sources telling Our News the aircraft took off from Sebring, Florida, en route to Treasure Key, Abaco. During that flight, the pilot realized he was low on fuel and decided to make an emergency landing. The passengers walked away with no injuries. Well, a warm start to the work week as temperatures remained in the upper 80s for the most part of the day. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is live in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg, extremely hot.
I got 3 words for you.
What's
Summer is here. Yeah, we are starting to see those summer-like temperatures approaching the 90-degree mark. Mid to upper 80s temperatures with indices near the 100-degree mark. And we are still warm outside our studios. Mostly clear skies though, but it's still warm, 81. East-northeast winds, 30 miles per hour. Your feels like temperature is at 84. Satellite radar composite, quiet across area. Ridge of high pressure is in charge. We had a weak frontal boundary that hung out across the northwest Bahamas, but that is basically falling apart. But that ridge will continue to be in place, and showers and thunderstorms to the north, we really could use that. But that's going to stay up there because that ridge is not going anywhere anytime soon. So we're looking for very hot temperatures over the next couple of days. Take lots of breaks, drink lots of water, and stay out of the sun. If you really have to be outside, make sure you take some frequent breaks. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast. Is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, the Bahamas Public Services Union president weighing in on the upcoming national insurance rate hike. Plus, UB Ignite on the move in Grand Bahama. Hear all about their efforts geared towards developing aspiring entrepreneurs. And later, meet the next generation of journalists. Students of Genesis Academy takes over the Our News studio for the day. We have the full story coming up when Our News continues.
Goombay Kids is coming soon. The kids find themselves on more exciting island adventures, meeting mythical characters, pirates, and mermaids as they explore their beautiful island nation. The Goombay Kids learn all about nutrition, marine life, the environment, cultures from around the world, and more, all with the help of the Goombay Kid experts, who are never more than a Goombay gadget away. Get ready to have a Goombay adventure.
Look who we caught here on the Charlie Bahama Show, Andrew Zimmerman. But listen, this is like your second home.
It is my second home. I'm 75% Bahamian.
Oh yeah, 75%. And this show is 100% Bahamian. Tell me about your path to becoming a chef. And while you do that, hold this so I can eat.
Growing up in a house with my mom, I love fire engine. If you had a fire engine, you've never been to Bahama.
So catch Charlie Bahama's new episodes on our TV, Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
If you thought season 1 was amazing, then be prepared for season 2. More amazing artists, more amazing videos, and surprises you won't believe. Will Stocks be the first rapper to ever hit #1? Or will Kenya continue her dominant reign? Or will someone new come and shut it all down? Stay tuned for season 2 of 242 The Gospel.
So you said you're here for Sally's funeral? How do you know Sally?
He was my rock and my anchor.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He most certainly was not.
Watch what you say about Sully. Who is this child?
Your sisters. I'm asking you to do a few things for me. Once they are done, you will both receive your inheritance. The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
Don't take this the wrong way. It isn't really much of a hotel.
This is 242 The Gospel, where we celebrate our Bahamian artists. You've been asking for more, and they're here to deliver. Welcome to the second season of 242 The Gospel. Who will be #1? Let's find out.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies?
Bahamas Public Services Union leader Kingsley Ferguson predicts the upcoming national insurance rate hike will completely wipe out the salary increase his members secured last year in its last industrial agreement. On July 1st, Bahamians will see a 1.5% increase in NIB contributions. Ferguson says this increase will mostly impact minimum wage workers.
You're going to find that the NIB rate hike is going to bring them back to zero, as if they would have never received an increase. When you divide what they would have received by the entire month, you would find that it may have amounted to some $1.25.
He says he's been pushing for a general increase for all public servants as the cost of living increases.
The government is finding creative ways to take back what they gave persons. So they're back at point zero again. And this is a concern for us. We've been agitating for there to be a general increase straight across the board with all public servants receiving the same amount of funding. Because when all of them go into the food store doesn't say that you're part of the M scale or you're part of the executive scale, the C scale, or the IT scale. The cost of living does not discriminate.
All right, while UB Ignite's 5th Business Incubator cohort is underway in Grand Bahama, it's a program for prospective and current entrepreneurs launched last year in partnership with the Inter-American Development Bank. UB Ignite's vision is to support national development and economic growth as they seek to support some 650 entrepreneurs across the country. Project coordinator Joy Ritchie shares some of the successes of the program, as she says they've had over 120 entrepreneurs enrolled and 255 enrolled in their free courses for the year. She also explains some of the additional benefits of UB Ignite.
When you become a part of this free business incubator, and I cannot stress the importance of this being free, is that you get free business advisement from the experts and professionals. You get free legal consultation. You're part of a free mentorship program where you get one-on-one consultation with individuals who are experts, not just in their field, but also in other aspects of business. And then we also, of course, a big part of being enrolled in our incubator is that you have an opportunity to register and apply for our pitch competition.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, the gift of life. A mega blood drive underway in Grand Bahama. We'll tell you all about the efforts spearheaded by the Ministry for Grand Bahama coming up.
Coming up in sports, a busy weekend for Bahamians at NCAA Conference Championships produced several medal winners, season's best, and a pair of Olympic qualifications.
And meet the next generation of journalists. Students of Genesis Academy takes over the Our News studio for the day. We have the full story coming up when Our News continues. Stay with us.
Look who we caught here on the Charlie Bahama Show, Andrew Zimmerman. But listen, this is like your second home.
It is my second home. I'm 75% Bahamian.
Oh, yeah, 75%. And this show is 100% Bahamian. Tell me about your path to becoming a chef. And while you do that, hold this so I could eat.
Growing up in a house with my mom, I love fire engine. If you had a fire engine, you've never been to Bahamas.
So catch Charlie Bahama's new episodes on our TV, Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
If you thought season 1 was amazing, then be prepared for season 2. More amazing artists, more amazing videos, and surprises you won't believe. Will Stocks be the first rapper to ever hit #1? Or will Kenya continue her dominant reign? Or will someone new come and shut it all down? Stay tuned for season 2 of 242 The Gospel.
So you said you're here for Sally's funeral? How do you know Sally?
He was my rock and my anchor.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He most certainly was not.
Watch what you say about Sully. Who is this child?
Your sisters. I'm asking you to do a few things for me. Once they are done, you will both receive your inheritance. The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
Don't take this the wrong way. It isn't really much of a hotel.
This is 242 The Gospel, where we celebrate our Bahamian artists. You've been asking for more, and they're here to deliver. Welcome to the second season of 242 The Gospel. Who will be #1? Let's find out.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Inti Corporation is on the...
This is Our News. Welcome back. A pair of college track and field student athletes qualify for the Paris 2024 Olympics over the weekend. Here now with Our Sport, presented by 10th year seniors, is Ronaldo Dorset.
Thanks, Natalia, and welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th year seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. As usual, John Mark is racking up the air miles on assignment, but we'll hear from him later in the week. Let's do show. You can add Denisha Cartwright and Wanya McCoy to the growing list of track and field athletes Team Bahamas will have at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Both reached the Olympic qualifying standards at their respective conference championships over the weekend. Cartwright has been setting records all season long and continued that trend at the NSIC championships in Minnesota. In the 100-meter hurdles, the Minnesota State Mankato star won gold with a new personal best time of 12.60 seconds and reached the Olympic qualifying standard in the event. Her time also broke the NSIC record, facility record, Mankato State program record, and set the Division II all-time record. It was also the second fastest time across all divisions and a top 15 collegiate time in history. Cartwright's meet continued with a gold medal in the 200 meters in the season's best 23.07 seconds and gold in the 100 meters in 11.30 seconds. McCoy reached the Olympic qualifying standard in the 200 meters at the SEC Champs in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He won the silver medal with a new personal record of 19.93 seconds and booked his ticket to the Paris Olympics. It was also this season's #2 time in NCAA Division I and the number 4 time in Florida Gator history. In the 100 meters, McCoy also won silver in 10.02 seconds. The time placed him number 10 on Florida's all-time top 10 list. There were several other Bahamians that reached the podium at their conference championships. Let's take a look at the recap of the weekend. At the Big Ten Championships in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Remo Tabor of the Nebraska Cornhuskers won gold in the javelin with her throw of 57.75 meters. Ohio State's Sean Miller Jr. won silver in the high jump with the season's best jump of 2.17 meters. Anthea Charlton of the Florida Gators won silver in the long jump at the SEC Champs in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Charlton leapt 6.59 meters for second place and continues her progression after winning SEC Field Athlete of the Week to conclude April. At the Conference USA Champs, Louisiana Tech's Mateo Smith added an outdoor title to his indoor title won back in February. Smith leapt 7.48 meters to win gold and became just the second Bulldog in program history to win both titles in the same year. Also at the meet, UTEP's Jalen Cadet won bronze in the decathlon with a total of 6,035 points. At the Big 12 Championships, Antoine Andrews of Texas Tech ran 13.63 seconds to win silver in the 110 hurdles. At the Big Sky Champs, Wendera Moss reached the podium twice and set a new program record for Northern Colorado. In the 400 meters, Moss won bronze in 54.91 seconds for the fastest time in school history. She also won bronze in the 200 meters in 23.91 seconds. Jazz Chisholm continues to produce at the top of the lineup for the Miami Marlins. Chisholm went 2 for 3 with an RBI triple and a double in the Marlins' walk-off 7-6 win over the Philadelphia Phillies Sunday afternoon at Lone Depot Park. The Marlins improved to just 11-31 on the season and opened a 3-game set on the road tonight against the Detroit Tigers. Chisholm is hitting .252 on the season with 21 RBI and 18 runs scored. That'll do it for Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, the gift of life. The Grand Bahama Health Service is teaming up with the Ministry of Grand Bahama for a blood drive. We'll tell you all about the mega effort straight ahead, plus a hot start to the work week and a dozen of
Look who we caught here. Look who we caught here on the Charlie Bahama Show, Andrew Zimmerman. But listen, this is like your second home.
It is my second home. I'm 75% Bahamian.
Oh, yeah, 75%. And this show is 100% Bahamian. Tell me about your path to becoming a chef. And while you do that, hold this so I could eat.
Growing up in a house with my mom, I love fire engine. If you had a fire engine, you've never been to Bahamas.
So catch Charlie Bahama's new episodes on our TV, Cable Bahamas Channel 212.
If you thought season 1 was amazing, then be prepared for season 2. More amazing artists, more amazing videos, and surprises you won't believe. Will Stocks be the first rapper to ever hit #1? Or will Kenya continue her dominant reign? Or will someone new come and shut it all down? Stay tuned for season 2 of 242 The Gospel.
So you said you're here for Sully's funeral? How do you know Sully?
He was my rock and my anchor.
Yeah, he was a good man.
He most certainly was not.
Watch what you say about Sully. Who is this child?
Your sisters. I'm asking you to do a few things for me. Once they are done, you will both receive your inheritance. The Paradise Hotel.
When can I sell? Is this what the hotel is really worth?
Don't take this the wrong way. It isn't really much of a hotel.
This is 242 The Gospel, where we celebrate our Bahamian artists. You've been asking for more, and we're here to deliver. Welcome to the second season of 242 The Gospel. Who will be #1? Let's find out.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier.
Welcome back to our news. A pint of blood can save a life. That's the message being pushed by several Grand Bahama organizations that are joining forces for a massive blood drive. The goal, to encourage more Grand Bahamians to donate blood. Claudia Glinton, who is laboratory manager at the Grand Bahama Health Services, says last year the blood drive was successful and they hope that's repeated this year. While Minister for Grand Bahama Ginger Moxie says the CoLab unit saw the need to continue this initiative.
Every day, someone needs blood. Blood only lasts 35 days in our refrigerator. It doesn't sit 35 days because someone always needs it. So that is why we are always asking people to donate.
I consider it a moral duty as a healthy person to help save someone's life to the extent that I can. I have a strong feeling that I am not alone in this regard. I invite members of our community to join us in this small and selfless act of service to help our community pulsating by donating blood.
All right, great effort over on the island of Grand Bahama. Well, lovely weather in the capital on this Monday evening. Greg is back in the Weather Center live with your extended forecast. Greg?
Yeah, lovely but hot. And
Hot,
we're going to
very
continue
hot.
this parched weather regime for the next couple of days. We do have a frontal boundary that's going to probably lend us some isolated showers. Not much, but we could use much in terms of the rainfall. But that ridge of high pressure at the surface is going to stay in place. There's a massive ridge at the mid and upper levels across the Gulf of Mexico. That's going to be shifting across, as that will keep most of the weather systems that's moving across the southeastern United States to the north of us. And as I mentioned, the frontal boundary, the tail end of that should get in here sometime by Wednesday, Thursday, so we could see an isolated shower or two by that time. Future forecast showing the high pressure ridge and the dry conditions remaining with us, and that's going to continue to keep our fire chances increased or elevated. And of course, heat indices will be near the triple digits. Then by Wednesday, frontal boundary approaching northern Bahamas, and as I mentioned, we could see a couple isolated showers out of the system, but we don't think much in terms of any significant rainfall that's expected. All areas, small craft caution is in effect. Your winds will be out of the east to southeast, becoming more south to southeast across the northwest Bahamas. 15 to 20 knots, decreasing to around 50 knots tomorrow. Seas running 4 to 6 feet of open waters. Tide is presently low, will be high at 1:17 in the morning. The next low tide will be at 7:54 tomorrow. Here's a look at those warm temperatures expected in our national forecast. In the extended forecast, mostly sunny, a little bit on the breezy side tomorrow. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s. Weak frontal boundary getting in here sometime by Thursday, so we could see isolated showers, but those temperatures will stay near the 90-degree mark. So summer is here, and of course, those nighttime temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s. It's going to be warm, so make sure you act accordingly. Let's look at our weather. Back to you, Talia.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, we had some special guests in the Our News studio, the junior communication students of Genesis Academy. Our Marlena Leonard has a story.
There was a new production crew and anchor team in the Our News studios as the junior communication students of Genesis Academy spent the morning with the Our News production team, learning what goes into filming a newscast. The students were split into rotating teams, each getting the chance to experience roles like camera operating, floor directing, technical directing, and even anchoring. 8th grade student Tatum Richardson was surprised by the work that goes into making things happen in Master Control.
It was very colorful and interesting because usually a lot of people want to be on camera and want to speak. So I said, hey, maybe I want to see what's going on behind the scenes and how everything's going on.
13-year-old Ricardo Smith got to experience roles both in front of and behind the camera, practicing camera operating as well as his own turn in the anchor seat.
Behind the camera, even though it may seem like it may be one of, if not the hardest, it's not that hard after you learn most of the basics and you know how to focus, zoom in and zoom out. While you're on the anchor, you need to be able to read quick enough and to be able to get out all the words and pronounce them properly. And you also have to make sure that whenever it comes back to you that you're ready at all times to begin talking.
Their instructor, Moya Thompson, says being able to provide the class this kind of experience is a blessing.
It's very important because a lot of what I do in the class is theoretical. Although they do have practical assignments that they have to do, this allows them to kind of see it in play and to actually engage in it fully and have a team. We're thankful for the Cable Bahamas team for assisting us with this because now we have many hands on deck so they can actually see how everything comes together for a news segment, because I can tell them all I want, how much work goes into it, but for them to be able to come here and see it is such a blessing for them.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Marlena Leonard.
All right, so nice to see the next generation of journalists. And we're still following news. of the death of the former minister and prominent Progressive Liberal Party figure, A. Loftus Roker. He was 88. Prime Minister Philip Davis issuing a statement on his passing moments ago. The nation's leader saying Roker was a distinguished statesman and an advocate for justice and security. He said his contributions during critical periods of our history were pivotal, driven by his passion for our nation's prosperity and a deeply held belief in the Bahamian spirit. The nation's leader went on to describe his leadership as Minister of National Security and Immigration as significantly transformative. Davis offered condolences to the Roker family on behalf of his wife, Anne, and the country, saying his wisdom, integrity, and courage were his hallmarks, touching everyone who knew him. The Ackland Central High School was recently named in his honor. May his soul rest in peace. And with that, we thank you for joining us. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.